fight, man. Jaron Boots Ennis is being put out there that he's gonna be fighting Cody Crowley. So that's who he be fighting in Philadelphia. So apparently, I don't know if Al Heyman financially didn't want to get the Crowley fight popping. I don't know why it happened. I know Crowley was complaining about money, and um, as of right now, it seemed that they got the money to make it happen over at Matchroom, unless they're gonna let it go to a purse bid. Um, so they're gonna put a fight on in Philadelphia. So it says mandatory boots to face Crawley next in Philadelphia in June or July. Um, it says that IBF welterweight champion Jaron Boots Ennis, 20-31-0, 28 big ones, will make his mandatory defense of his belt against Cody Crowley, 22-9, next June or July, June or July in Philadelphia. Promoter Eddie Hearn revealed today in an interview with the 26-year-old Boots, who just signed a multi-fight deal with Matchroom Boxing Company, will get his mandatory defense out the way against 31-year-old Canadian Crowley in the summer. Philly warm up for the inevitable KO. This is necessary. So this is my opinion. Uh, so I mean, they gonna fight Crowley. I mean, cool. I guess Crowley was going around talking about the money was funny. I heard somebody was saying that he was offering Boots' opponent 50K. And you gotta understand, Boots' opponent isn't PBC. I mean, Boots isn't PBC. He's an affiliate. He had a network deal with Showtime, so they put him on some of the PBC shows. So they're not gonna be lucrative. Be lucrative, and they're not going to be lucrative in paying his opponents or trying to pay him. If they're gonna be lucrative and trying to pay him, it's just to the simple form. It's just to the simple part. Um, it's just to the simple part that they want to get him on be part of the PBC family, which didn't happen. And if I had to just give you an opinion why they don't inside information, I think it was because of they couldn't keep him active in the money. They releasing guys, they not signing guys. They releasing them. And Matchroom just have too much money. And they said we can give you fights when you want them. You can be active, and we'll figure out how to get the fights that you want down the line. But the money and the activity is more important than fighting once a year and not knowing when you're gonna be undisputed or when you're gonna fight again. You know, it's as simple as that. So at the end of the day, I think that made sense in fighting Cody Crowley. I mean, it made sense for Crowley too. Now, I mean, you can't keep passing up title shots. When the last time his ass was in the ring? That's what you got to ask yourself. When the last time that brother was in the ring? Ask yourself when the last time he was in the ring. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a while. So he got to get that money, and I'm pretty sure Matchroom gonna pay him handsomely. You know what I'm saying? Matchroom gonna pay him handsomely. Um, so be it. So be it. But at the end of the day, um, you know, he been out the ring. He been out the ring for quite some time. So, this would be a good little, warm up for him. And, Crowley gonna come right at him. No power. Um, yeah, he gonna come right at him with no power. Um, so, once again, Boots gonna get an opponent that's gonna be right there. But the difference between him and Vila, I think Cody Crowley kind of dipped down a little bit and he kind of move his head a little bit more. And I think he might not be as tough as Vila. He might, but he gonna press the action and try to push Boots backwards. That's how you kind of got to beat Boots is pushing backwards. And Crowley don't have a chance. He gonna get stopped. He just don't have enough punching power. But he got the aggression to make it interesting early. But um, it's good that they want to build Boots up in Philadelphia, build his fan base there. Then probably try to drag him to AC, and then probably drag him to New York City, and that's probably the ultimate goal. But you can have all the talent in the world, but can he sell? Can he sell? And that's the $1 million question. And can he be marketable? He kind of remind you of Terrence Crawford in that vein where, yeah, he do interviews with the brothers at the gym. It's Philly love. But the problem is he gonna be able to step outside the gym and learn the lesson that Crawford learned later on that you got to talk to people. You got to, you got to get out there and do your own publicity. You got to go out there and do your own tour. You got to let people see you and let people know you. You know what I'm saying? So that's the number one. That's the number one thing. Is he gonna go out there and put the work out to get his name out there? And you got to do that. This is why you got managers and shit. They the ones that got to put you in the line you with brand deals. They the ones that got to, get you guest appearances on podcasts and TV shows and cameos and all that stuff, man. They the ones that got to do that. They the ones that got to do that. So that's the $1 million question. Is he gonna allow them? Is he gonna allow them to do that? To is he gonna, and him and his team gonna allow him to grow his brand? He always in the gym, but shit, it got to be time for marketing and business too. And I understand you can't keep winning. You know what I'm saying? If you don't stay in the gym, but you ain't gonna maximize your dollar potential if you don't get out there and market yourself. Um, so so yeah, I feel like he should get out there and market it himself. Let people know who he is, see the skill set, see the skill level, see the charisma. You know, but if he don't do that, it ain't gonna matter. He got to drive people to the zone to see him. And that's the number one thing. He got to be the driving force of the people going to the zone to see Jaron Bruce Ennis. He got to get the visibility nationally. So we'll see if he able to drag that over and build the fan base, and they gonna come support him. I mean, maybe DC, and eventually it's probably gonna take a Mexican to have to drag him over to the West Coast. You know, it's probably what it's gonna take is a Mexican to drag him over to the West Coast. So, but yeah, he should bang out the East Coast. But it says after Boots Ennis take care of his IBF mandatory, Eric Hearn will try to put together fights against Theonis and Barrios, who both they the champions and waiting for Crawford to drop the belt at 47. There's no guarantee that Hearn will have any luck with either of those fights together, and they're putting those fights together. And there's a good chance he won't get either guy to agree to the fight walking the guillotine. He said Boots. So if Hearn can't set up those any type of fights for championship innings, he said they'll need to decide whether to stay at welterweight and fight any random opponent or move up to 54 and go after the old Lion, Terrence Crawford. That's a fight that Hearn wants to put together. He's confident Ennis will defeat Crawford. We already talked about that. Like I said before, for a guy that's, dog Crawford, now you want to work with him, I got to tax you. I got to tax you. That's just the way it is. I got to tax you. You gonna fuck around and get the young line knocked out. Mark my words. You don't go from fighting Cody Crowley and Riyamon Velon, struggling with Karen Churkajan um, you know, to Terrence Crawford. They gotta find formidable opponents for him. Even going from them to going to a guy like Virgil Ortiz. Don't work that way. Stay honest and honestly stay honest. Stay honest and what's the other guy they trying to fight? And sheesh, Louise. Theonis and Barrios, those are fights that he need to move up the scale and fight, in my opinion. Those are fights that he need to move up the scale and fight. So, there's levels to this. No matter how good of a prodigy you think you are, like I don't think he's good enough to skip steps. I don't think he's good enough to skip steps. So, we'll see, man. But hopefully Cody Crowley get paid handsomely and they put on an amazing show. You know. But uh, they better figure it out. I just think him getting active is the number one thing. And it's too bad a lot of these promotional companies don't want to play ball. And the same dudes out of Philly that was laughing at Terrence Crawford for not being able and say he didn't deserve the Sean Porter fights, the Keith Thurman fights, the Errol Spence fights. They're gonna be the same ones when PVC freeze out boots. They're gonna change their tune. That's what I'm telling all these niggas' opinion be biased, bro. And that's sad because you got a whole bunch of grown men that's thinking, that's emotional, and that's being biased and not doing what men naturally do, and that's be logical. You know, so that's crazy about a whole bunch of irrational guys. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So it is what it is. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notification, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel? Cash App $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Oh, I appreciate the love and support. Peace.